A lot of people are talking shit about Tom, but he apparently still can't see. Here's the thing. The other eye got hurt as well, but not as bad, but it looks way worse. The finger goes way deeper in the other eye.
And you know, it's crazy that everyone that talks the most has never been poked in the eye. Not even a little bit, like accidentally.
Oh, it's horrible. The idea that you can't see and then you're supposed to fight a guy, it should be an instant 1-point deduction.
Do you have any updates about the eye of Tom Aspinall? And is there a rematch in the works?
Oh, Jesus. Don't let me talk about Tom Aspinall's eye. Apparently he's going in for a second surgery or just had it, and by surgery I mean injections. I have no idea. Get a quote from him. God fucking forbid I say something about it. Go ahead.
Do you have any updates about the eye of Tom Aspinall? And is there a rematch in the works?
Oh, Jesus. Don't let me talk about Tom Aspinall's eye. Apparently he's going in for a second surgery or just had it, and by surgery I mean injections. I have no idea. Get a quote from him. God forbid I say something about it. Go ahead.
Weird, Dana.
Jeez.
How close did you think you were to
Here's your quote. Catching strays, aren't I? Catching strays in my own living room on a Sunday morning.
Joe Rogan just reacted to the shocking rumors that Tom Aspinall might be out of the UFC, and the MMA world is in total upheaval. No official announcement has been made. But after Dana White downplayed Aspinall's eye injury and weeks of icy exchanges and public snubs, fans are piecing the story together. It seems this isn't about health anymore. It's personal. Rogan didn't confirm anything, but his response said it all, questioning how the UFC could even consider letting go of such a dangerous, athletic, and well-rounded heavyweight. Aspinall had done everything right, taking fights on short notice, acting as a backup champion, and waiting patiently through the drawn-out Jon Jones saga.
He took the sleepy fight and then went running. And we have wasted so many fucking months, and all of it for what? For Jon Jones to eventually get to the point where the UFC were like, are you gonna fucking fight or not? And he's put a fucking tweet out to retire. That's what all of this was for. A fucking tweet. Oh, and a press conference in Azerbaijan.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
It's honestly a disgrace that this is how Tom Aspinall wins his heavyweight world title when Jones never beat anyone who was the champion either. Jones was never any more of a champion than Tom Aspinall was. But for him to be announced as world champ like this, it's just not right. And when you look at the star that Tom Aspinall could be, the amount of fights he could have had in all of this time, and the fact that he's just patiently sat there and wasted months and over a year of his career in his prime, because Jon Jones might want to fight him. What a disaster this is. And I can't believe that it's taken the UFC this long to figure that out. And I get it on the one hand because they're trying to give the fans what they want. And also, who would have really believed that someone like Jon Jones would delay things this long and bottle it in such fashion? I mean, it's pathetic on his part. But to be fair, Aspinall predicted it himself. So I just wish that they hadn't Michael Chandlered him this badly and kept them on ice. And inactivity is a terrible thing for fighters. And I just hope that this doesn't impact Aspinall's career any more than it already has. Because unlike Jon Jones, people can say what they want about Jon Jones as a fighter, right? We've all acknowledged he's a skilled fighter. But as a man, I think he's
Just as he finally gets his shot, Aspinall suffers a serious eye injury, one that experts warn could cause lasting damage if he returns too soon. Rather than getting support, he's met with dismissal. Instead of protection, he's pushed aside. That's why this rumored fallout feels especially harsh. Dana White's recent remarks didn't just sound frustrated, they came across as personal, with jokes about injections and a refusal to explain the injury.
So everyone wants to know as well, obviously, you've been pretty clear in what you've said. Back to Cyril, but surgery now is the focus, and then we'll kick on to 2026, right?
That's the plan. That's the plan. By the time this is going out, they probably have had surgery on one side already. Next surgery's coming mid-January, so we're working towards getting back, and that's the plan.
It was really bad how it looks. And he said, you can't train your eyeballs to be stronger. It is what it is. Protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye his eye wasn't following properly, so the muscles weren't working strong enough to go this way. This one just wasn't working that good at all. So we've got to have additional tests further this week, and Moyes is sorting the tests out for us.
Finger, 2 in the eyes. One of his fingers, he went in his mouth. Oh, like it was deep. Cyril Gane was looking so good in that first round. Tom Aspinall was bleeding. Cyril was landing with that jab. I got a heavyweight. You go in there, and a lot of the times a heavyweight, you see guys not really engage too much because it takes one punch, especially from 2 big punches like that. And Tom was kind of pushed, like coming forward. Cyril was landing beautiful jabs, circling around. He won that round. Both those guys, for being heavyweight, can move so well on their feet.
There's been no praise and no reassurance. And now rumors are suddenly spreading that Aspinall is hard to deal with, unreliable, or creating issues behind the scenes. Joe Rogan strongly pushed back on that narrative, pointing out that fighters don't choose to get eye injuries, don't pretend their vision is compromised, and don't risk their livelihoods to prove a point. He raised the question of whether the UFC is sidelining Aspinall not because he's hurt, but because he's become inconvenient. And that's the unsettling part. If this can happen to Tom Aspinall, what does that signal to everyone else on the roster?
That is your heavyweight champion. That is one of the best and most popular fighters in the world. And the reaction is, geez, don't let me say anything about him. Last I heard, he had a couple surgeries, well, injections. Like the whole thing felt dismissive. The whole thing felt like he doesn't really believe it. If I'm being 100%, if I am to read his body language, and he will 1,000% say, that felt very dismissive. That felt like someone who didn't believe that his heavyweight champion was actually going through something. Anyone feel otherwise?
No, it was exactly that.
And by
surgeries, I mean injections. That's like a direct shot at him.
Yes.
Oh, God forbid I say something. Yeah, no, that's
like
what it was.
flip it. It was just, if I'm Tom Aspinall sitting there, I'm like, man, what did I do to this guy? All I've done is stepped up to the plate, and I got poked in the freaking eye. And you think I want to get injections for fun? Do you think Tom Aspinall is injections or not, surgery or not? Do you think he's doing this for fun? And the world has no idea how much his life has changed as a result of all of this. Do you think he's doing this for fun? Do you think he's doing this to prove a point to all of you who thought he was faking? It's absurd to me. He could have easily answered that question like, to be honest, he's just working through things. Hopeful he'll be back. Wishing him the best. We'll be here when he's ready to come back. Like what? Why did it happen?
Rank number 10 is his friend, Anthony Elijah, and he would vacate the title if Elijah got to a point where he was going to fight for the title.
I hate that, Tom saying I'd vacate if he fought. It's even silly to talk about that when a guy.
At this point, it feels less like a health issue and more like a battle over control. A fighter who understands his value, a champion unwilling to return while injured, and a promotion that doesn't respond well to resistance. Even without saying much, fans are already wondering what the next chapter could look like, with talk quietly shifting toward boxing, the PFL, or even major crossover matchups.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Tom came out and said, no, I'm not going to rematch him. He's a cheater. Why would I rematch a guy that already cheated, that violated not one of my eyes, but both? I gave him his chance. He chose to cheat, and I'm going to move on. If Tom took that stance, which he's not going to do, I'm saying, but for fun, I think he'd have a lot of people that supported him. For some reason, Cyril has come out of this thing with his hands clean. He's the one that did the poking.
They've got to do something about these eye pokes. The rule is you got to have your hands like this, but you can still have your fingers out straight. You can't do that. You can do that. That's the stupidest rule I've ever seen in my life. Make a fist. Simple as that. You're throwing punches and you got to parry shots, but you just got to unbend your fingers. It's really not that hard. This is a stupid rule.
Only Tom knows what happened. Could he see? Couldn't he see? Could he continue? I can't make people fight if they feel they've been injured. After the Jones fight, a lot of people wrote Cyril Gane off. He looked damn good tonight. I mean, he had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. The rematch is very interesting.
Think about Dana White saying Tom didn't continue.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so.
And then also, who gives it to eye pokes?
Who gives it?
Well, listen, I didn't continue. I'll tell you why I didn't continue. Because I'm not a dummy. Like, I'm not going to go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see.
I know as an MMA fighter, look, things are going to happen in the fight that compromise you. Go back and watch my fight with Arlovsky. The end of the first round, he punched me right in the eyeball.
Final 20 seconds of the first round. Oh, big right from Arlovsky.
For the rest of that fight, I couldn't see him out that eye. That's fine. If you get punched or kicked in the eye, that's fine. If you get double eye poked in both eyes and you've got no vision because of a foul, why should I carry on? So some dummy can look and say, oh yeah, Tom just got knocked out. Because I ain't going to fight if I can't see anything. Because
White House UFC fight. Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feeling that I'll be on that card. It's going to be historic.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Any possible names you think?
Well, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. Be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night.
He wins his next fight because
what's the rumor? Cyril Gane?
Cyril Gane, supposedly. There's a video that hasn't gone viral, but one of his losses, he was very much an adult. I believe already a black belt, and he was taken down, and the guy twisted his ankle, and he had no defense. He tapped so quickly. I had a fight where I got arm barred, and I was literally willing to let somebody break my arm before giving up.
This is Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort. With Tom, the moment he felt any pressure on his ankle, he tapped immediately, which lets me know a lot about him.
I guess the clarifying question then is, if Dana and Hunter do come to you after this fight, the figures make sense to you, would you then be open to fighting Tom Aspinall, or are you categorically thinking, he does nothing for me, I will not fight that guy?
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. If you're a person that wants to see me really challenged, then I get it. 7 years younger, like 35 pounds bigger than me, right? I get it. It's like, wow, this John's so good. We finally found someone way younger and way bigger than him. Let's see how he does it. I get that narrative. But for me, if you were my manager, if you were on my team, why not fight against Pereira, a guy who's the same age as you, and we walk around the same exact size? Business-wise, it makes more sense. I'm going to call him this, fight the nobody that may be more dangerous, or fight the guy with all the accolades who's incredibly dangerous, but it actually will affect your legacy.
Good man, in my opinion. And I just hope he gets the treatment that he deserves for the remainder of his UFC career, because this hasn't been good enough. The one good thing to come out of this for Tom Aspinall, other than the heavyweight title, is kind of his aura now. When the greatest of all time won't even step in a cage with you, it builds up who you are, right? You have that fear factor of the guy who everyone was scared of is scared of him. How fucking good is Tom Aspinall? Very good is the answer. And it's funny because in all of the posturing that John did in the tweeting and the interviews, and I don't care, I don't want to fight him, he doesn't do anything for all of that coping that we witnessed, where he was trying to say everything he could to make himself feel better about not wanting to fight this guy, and telling us all how unbothered he was in fighting Tom Aspinall, showed exactly how bothered he was. Because Jon Jones, even though he thinks he's smart, he's a child, right? And he doesn't realize in all of that coping, we can read him like a fucking book. And all he's done is kind of promoted Tom Aspinall for an entire year in this tour that he's gone on, in showing you're scared of him, mate, and we fucking know you are. Because actions speak louder than words. And Jon Jones has moaned his entire career about fighter pay. He named his price. Dana White gave him it and said, yep, no problem. And he still turned down the fight. This is a man motivated by money. He never shuts up about it. You get your biggest payday ever, and
Aspinall is reportedly nearing the end of his current deal, and people close to him have already suggested that boxing could offer both bigger paydays and greater freedom. If the UFC is truly trying to move on from him, this could be the turning point that reshapes everything. Joe Rogan captured the gravity of it clearly. Losing a fighter like Aspinall over ego and internal politics wouldn't just look bad, it would go down as a major failure in leadership. Athletes of his caliber don't come along often, and once they walk away, there's no replacing them.